Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you about the travesty that took place in the U.S. Senate chambers yesterday with regard to the Mayorkas impeachment, among other things. I think it is a disgrace that when you take an oath of office, such as the one that Mayorkas and the president take, or even someone entering the military, to promise to secure and protect this country at all costs, and the travesty of the open border in plain face, with all the evidence that the Congress took the time to come up with and present to the Senate for a hearing, that not one Democrat showed up to cast or listen to the briefs, indictments, whatever. They didn't show, but they voted from afar to dismiss this whole thing, which means now they voted to keep your borders wide open and thumbed their nose at the oath that they took when they were brought into office. We need, as Senator Cruz said earlier, and I have a clip of his speech this morning that I will add in here to this video, throw the bums out. You're going to have an opportunity to remember this if they don't cover it up so badly that you forget. In November, we want to take these people to task and show them what not showing up for this vote for, not keeping your oath is for, and get them the heck out of office. We don't need this kind of treachery, and that's what it is. To let 11 million people cross into this country unvetted, unvaccinated, and with some with really bad intent. Not to mention, we are working with the cartels to poison our countrymen and our children. But yet we didn't have one Democrat and several Republicans bother to hold this trial. They just dismissed it. That tells you something. That means they're all involved in keeping this border open, and they're buying votes, so they think. This country is in serious trouble if we let this happen. And it happened. It happened before your eyes, and Chuck Schumer told us all he was going to find a way to do this, but rather than him table it, as he said he was going to do, he got his buddies together, and they said, don't show up. So there's no questions asked. And Mayorkas sits there with a grin on his face and a smirk because he walked away scot-free after breaking the laws that he swore to protect. It's as long and as short as that, folks. And the rhinos that go and join in with these people, they need to be put out of office the next time they're up for election as well. This is just unbelievable that they get away or think they get away with something like this. If you have a phone, if you have a typewriter, if you have a computer, start flooding them and tell them of your displeasure, because no one in my listening audience could possibly say that they go along with this. It's in your face every day now. The corruption in our Congress, the corruption in our senators, is disgusting. And as I said all along, we only have a handful of people in each of these houses that'll do anything or make mention of the money spent. The IMF comes out yesterday and said, stop printing money. You can't do this anymore. So what do we have now? We have a Speaker of the House that's trying to push a $62 billion deal through for the Ukraine. And they attached some for Taiwan and they attached some for Israel. Israel's not asking for a handout. They're asking to buy what they need. We're so worried about Taiwan. We're not ready to take that war on. Trust me. If we sent all our chips over there and cleaned out Silicon Valley so we can't make anything anymore here because some senator or congressperson put some money in their pocket to get that to happen, I'll tell you, I'm damn mad, and you should be too, after what they pulled yesterday, and they voted to keep the border wide open. It's not a good situation for anyone to let more and more unvetted, bad people into this country. And the good ones that are coming in for the right reasons are going to suffer for this. Our populations in our major cities are suffering from this. Our black populations are being duped again and taking money from them to give to migrants, housing migrants, feeding migrants, and giving them credit cards, and now they can buy a home with no interest. Why? Why are we not waking up and screaming? These people need to be put out of their seats. Where in the world can you get a job that if you spend a term in there, you get a pension for life, you get health care, and not the health care that you buy, the premium health care for the rest of their life, for them and their family? I'd like to get a job like that, wouldn't you? In the comments section below, tell me what you're thinking. You've got to be watching this. And mainstream media will spin this 3 ways from Sunday to make the Democrats so you feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them. They are the new elites. They can say what all they want about the elites and about the conspiracy theory, but every one of these SOBs are the elites, starting with Hillary Clinton, the Clinton family, the Biden crime family, and the Bush family. These are the elites. And where are they getting driven from? The military-industrial complex. Pharmaceutical companies have more lobbyists in Washington, D.C. than there are people. I'm going to play you a little bit at the end of this report of Ted Cruz. And it's amazing, simply amazing, what took place yesterday. We have a handful of people that care, Ted Cruz being one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Rand Paul are the only ones in that group, in that club, that make any sense at all. And when they come up and talk to their own colleagues, the room is empty. They don't want to hear what they have to say because they may have to answer for it. And they should answer in droves in November for the ones that are up for re-election. It's upsetting. You cannot believe that they can get away with the crimes that they're getting away with. And it is criminal. I don't care how you look at it. Our Constitution wasn't written in this fashion. They're changing everything to suit the elites. And the elites are the Democrats. The black populations are waking up to the fact that they have been used and abused for far too long. So the object now is to bring in a whole bunch of foreigners that they can get to vote that aren't up to what they're going to use them for because they lost their one sure thing. Now they're creating a new sure thing. So the elites can stay in power. The elites can persecute and torture anyone that runs against them. Where's the fairness in this? You have corrupt judges that were put in place and backed by Soros. AGs that were backed by Soros. They're all doing bad things, but they're doing it for the Democratic Party under the guise of justice. The Justice Department has been weaponized. The three-letter agencies, right down to the CDC, are corrupt. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, but my God, it is out in front of you in black and white and in the news talking heads on a daily basis. Wake up to this fact. This travesty that took place in the Senate yesterday should be a new beacon for what's going on behind the curtain. You have a criminal sitting in the White House with a cabinet of diversification that are clowns with no ability to do the job that they were put in there to do, and the oath they took means nothing to them. And if you want proof, just look at Mayorkas. And if any of you are hanging your hat on the Senate doing anything against Hunter Biden, James Biden, or Joe Biden, it's never going to happen. They're not going to allow it to happen, just as they did not allow this impeachment to have a fair trial in the Senate. I know it's upsetting. And I know that I would like to be here talking about hillbilly days more than anything else. Or a visit to Blowing Rock, North Carolina this weekend. But it's upsetting now to a point. Here it is Thursday, and we're going into a weekend with a news cycle that is more and more evil every week. I tell you, the hell's demons have been released into this country, and some of them are sitting in seats of power that don't or shouldn't be there. God bless this country, and God, please look down upon this country and give us the strength to fight back in the right method to save our country and the souls of the good people that are here. I wish you all a great rest of the day. It's partly sunny here today. They're talking about some more warm weather. Rain coming, I think, Saturday. And we're going to get out this weekend with the camera and do something fun so I can bring some peaceful fun to the Monday morning or weekend report. But as it's going now, I can't wait to see what the next shoe today will drop to be, but it won't be good. And God, I pray to you that you give Donald Trump a break from the nonsense that he has to put up with to try and help this country save itself. And I include Robert Kennedy Jr. in that as well. And that in the other news comes out today that Biden is out hanging his hat on the fact that he was endorsed by the Kennedy family. Do you see this sickness that's taking place in this world? And talking about sickness, mental illness in this country is on the rise. And there's reasons for it. And we'll be bringing you some numbers on that in a future broadcast, because I haven't put all those numbers together yet, and I have not been able to verify each number, but it will be verified. And there's all sorts of reasons for it. Some of it is drug use. Some of it is loneliness. Some of this is self-loathing. Some of this is suicide. And this is all being brought on by the environment that has been created for us to live in. We're no longer in the world we grew up in. We're in someone else's fantasy land right now. And it's taking its toll on our citizenry with mental illness as a result of a lot of things. Cell phones, iPads, pornography, food. There's so many different avenues that you can look at. It's going to be hard to get through, but we're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it with the help of God. And that's all we have left. Because the devil is on the loose, and he's in this country, and he's all over the world, and it's evident by what you're watching happening before your eyes. And unfortunately, we don't have anybody to do anything about it right now. So I'm going to sign off here in a little bit with you, and I'm going to probably add to this after I sign off Ted Cruz, so you can get an opinion right from the horse's mouth. And you don't have to believe me, but I wish you all happiness today. And please tune in tomorrow, and remember to hit the like button for me, because we rely on you for your help. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for a second here, and you'll see Mr. Ted Cruz and his opinion on yesterday's debauchery. See you soon.
I don't know that there has been a more shameful day in the United States Senate than today. What we just witnessed was a travesty. It was a travesty to the United States Constitution, and it was a travesty to the American people. And it's important to understand why the Democrats did what they did. We're here on the Senate floor right now, but I want the record to reflect. I'm going to do a very accurate count of the number of Democrats who are with us. That would be 0, other than the presiding officer, and somebody has to preside. Not a single Democrat senator chose to come to this floor and listen to one word of evidence. When it comes to the Constitution, the Democrats concluded that Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, defying federal law, ignoring the text of the statute, deliberately releasing criminal illegal aliens over and over and over again, that's just hunky-dory. You can't impeach him for that. Every Democrat just voted. By the way, every cabinet member, guess what? You've just been given a blank slate. Ignore the law. When Democrats are in charge of the Senate, the entire cabinet could ignore the law. It is no longer impeachable in Democrat wonderland when a member of the executive branch openly defies the law. By the way, every Democrat just voted that way. They didn't hear one word of argument. The majority leader didn't stand up and say, here's the reason why it's okay. No, he didn't present that argument. They didn't read a brief. Nobody wrote a brief. They didn't care enough to know what Senator Lee just laid out, that the Biden Department of Justice went in front of the U.S. Supreme Court and said if the executive defies the law, the answer is impeachment. The willingness of every Democrat to be blatantly hypocritical. Just last year, the Biden Justice Department said, no. You can't sue in court. When we, the Biden administration, defy the law, the answer is impeachment. In like 3-card money. Every Senate Democrat said, no. The answer is not impeachment. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. There's only one answer left, which is everyone who is unhappy about the open border shows up in November, and to use the phrase, throw the bums out.